Yeah, because you can't even give handicap flags and that stuff, can you?
No.
No,
I mean,
nothing.
You stick the cart.
Yeah.
So.
Have you gotten to play recently?
No, I haven't. I played 2 weeks ago over the weekend. My round went 42-32.
Dang.
Still 74 any way you add it up.
I don't know. I think I'd say, yeah, I played 9 holes, shot 32.
Any way you add it up, it's 74.
Where was that? Was it at World Tour?
No, we played the Thistle.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like that course. Okay. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Tee It Up Grand Strand. I'm your host, Shan Coughlin, here with very special guest, Mr. Tom Plankers from the International World Tour Golf Club. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hope you are today.
I am. So I'm always excited to have you in studio because you give us a little history lesson. But we also get a chance to talk about that wonderful course, which replicates 19 of some of the world's greatest holes out there. So remind everyone a little bit about the course and how it's laid out, and then we'll get to the specific hole you've brought for us today.
Yeah, the World Tour in Myrtle Beach, obviously South Carolina, has got 19 holes that were Mr. Mel Graham took, and he went all over the country and the world and came back with the wonderful idea of putting them all together, and they turned out fantastic. The golf course plays seamless. You can play Amen Corner, you can play TPC, you can play just about anything you want. Pinehurst,
St. Andrews. Can't forget the bridge, the iconic bridge.
And it's just a great golf course, and also, which I love in it, is the history.
Yes.
The history of the game and the history of the golf course and the holes that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice to see the clients and the customers come out and do nothing but sit there and read the plaques on the tees and learn more history about it, because it does give you some idea of things that you probably never even knew about the hole, or who played it, or what even happened to the hole. So.
And even the game of golf, which I like, because it talks about some of the iconic figures and the designers and, like you said, the players. And one thing that we've learned over these last few months is that Mr. Graham was also able to include holes from exceptionally uber, if you will, exclusive facilities, that you would never be able to play otherwise unless you were a member or friends, of a member. So that's what's been exciting for me.
Well, that is, and that's the exciting part about a lot of people that get to play out there, because they will play golf holes that in their lifetime, unfortunately, they'll never be able to play. Even
if they wanted to, or could they just wouldn't be allowed.
So you can play one or two out there and get the feeling. And what's really nice about that too is you watch the TV and you watch the tour play. And when they play one of the courses that you've already played one of the holes on, it's kind of interesting to hear the comments from the people that it's like the TPC or number 3, which is the TPC out there is 17, I believe it is. And it's so interesting because they'll email me, they'll come back to play and say, I made par out there. I beat so and so and so and so on the tour. So that's pretty cool.
And again, the great thing about this game, the game of golf, and we talk about this a lot, is it's the one sport where you can play, or one of the big sports on television where the amateur plays on the exact same facilities as the professionals. That doesn't happen, or at least not very often, in football or basketball or some of the other facilities. So and so many acres of just beautiful property. I mean, on the golf course, is there really any better place on earth?
No,
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think that's where it is right there.
Absolutely. So what are we talking about today? Which hole?
Well, today we're talking about a golf course that probably a lot of people in the United States don't know too much about, but I'm sure people in Canada do. And it's the National Golf Club of Canada in Woodbridge, Ontario.
Okay.
It is another golf course that is very, very different. It has a lot of tradition behind it. It's not a real old golf course,
Okay.
but it's quite interesting, some of the facts and some of the history about it. It's on World Tour. It's our number 8 on the Open.
Okay.
It's only 100. It's only 391 yards, par 4. But on the National, it's number 1.
Okay.
And they say that it is probably the easiest hole out there.
So good starting hole for them out there.
Yeah, but I'll tell you a little bit more about it when we get going.
Okay.
'Cause if that's easy, I'm sure it's unbelievable.
Okay.
But the National Golf Club is only 7,000 yards long. I mean, that's as far as they can make it, which is, in this day and time is not a long golf course. And the par 71.
Still sounds anything with a 7 in front though still sounds.
Sure.
I would never play from back there, but it always sounds long to me.
Well, the interesting thing about this too is that the course rating.
I'm looking at that.
76.3.
Wow.
And the slope is 152. So that starts to tell you a little bit about this golf course.
Yeah, not the easiest.
And
of
no,
golf courses.
it's noted for not being very easy at all.
Mm-hmm.
The architects were George and Tom Fazio.
Nice.
And again, as I say, the golf course is not that old. It was built in 1975. And it was kind of interesting because there's an iconic tour player from Canada. And his statement, and he repeats it, and they have it at the club, that if you can play 4 rounds in a row on the National Golf Club at par or better, you can play the tour.
Wow.
And that's a heck of a statement.
And that was who said that?
That was George Kunsen.
Okay.
And he was a major sports figure in Canada and
Wow.
one heck of a golfer. But he said it's just brutal.
So that's the test. There you go. Yeah,
Yep.
if you can go up there and play 4 rounds par or
Yep.
better, you should be able to make
You
it.
can do something.
Well, at that 76.3 and a 152 slope, I was thinking the same thing.
Now the owner now is Glenn Beachman, and he was very kind of disillusioned with the country club living where he was in Toronto. So he made a statement that he was going to build a golf course that is a real golf club, and he did.
Okay.
With the interesting story about him and his group, he was playing golf as a foursome, his regular group, and they were waiting on every shot, and they were getting very upset about it. So they all sit there on the tee talking, and they said, maybe we ought to just buy our own golf course. And well, yeah, but it'd have to be a real good one. So in a week later, they bought a golf course in Woodbridge, and it was called Pine Valley. 2 years later, George and Tom Fazio had completed, and what was Pine Valley was now the National Golf Club of Canada. They built it right over the top of Pine Valley.
Okay.
So they didn't use any of it. They just built it right on top of it.
Interesting. Okay.
Took them 2 years to do it. And what was very interesting was they're sitting on a tee getting all upset about slow play. And as I go into this, you'll see that the owner, Gil, does not appreciate slow play, period. And then a week later, they bought a club, and 2 years later, they had their own.
Hey, I say, if you're going to complain about something, be
Yeah.
willing to do something about it. I guess that qualifies.
Like I said, he was not real happy with slow play. And in a press release, when they opened up the club, and it still hangs in the club, it says, "We intend to accept only as many members as will allow golf to play without waiting." So he, again, was not, if you were a member and you played slow, you probably didn't last very long at his club.
Wow.
The chairman, the club chairman himself, said that our members want the best and they're willing to pay for it. So there again tells you that not only was this a difficult golf hole, but a very nice golf hole, course, but also that the members were proud of it and didn't mind paying for what it took to make it nice.
Well, and that guarantee of never having to wait is worth something.
That's probably pretty cool. Ken Venturi was the originally hired to be the club's first golf professional. But as we know, some TV gig came along, and we know what happened then. And he was not the golf pro there, which I think he made a very good move.
Probably.
The course was built to be the best of the best, and the All Men's Club takes that very serious.
Is it still all men?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
You caught that one pretty quick, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it did make sense.
Yeah, it's still
A lot of people are changing, though.
It's All Men's Club, and that's the way they keep it. There was no Greens Committee, so there's no committees whatsoever. Any modifications on the golf course is made by Tom Fazio. He will come back at least once a year, maybe twice if he has to, and then he will, if there's something to be changed, he'll do it himself.
Wait, I want to go back to that. No committees.
No committees. Wouldn't that be nice?
I was just thinking that means no meetings. Yeah, I'm all for that. I'm good.
Yep, means members don't have too much to say about it.
Well, that's true too. So they obviously like what's going on, though.
Yeah, they do, or because they provide great service and a heck of a golf course.
Must be.
For instance, if there is a tree that is dead or died, they'll replace that tree with the same tree, same size, and everything.
Wow.
But they're notorious for probably moving it a little closer to the fairway than where it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they still feel like they need it tougher, I guess it is. The golf course is always in impeccable shape, always. There's nothing, and it ranks up there with Oakmont, Bethpage Black, so you can see that this golf course is top of the top. It's just one tough golf course. It's incredibly fast, undulating greens, and the putting is almost sometimes impossible. Sometimes you can four-putt without even thinking about it, and it's not where the pin is placed, because the pin is always placed on a flat area, but it's getting to the pin with the undulating greens and how fast it is that there's your problem. They say a friend of mine who was fortunate enough to play there, very good player, teed off, ripped it right down the middle.
Right.
And the caddy looked at him and said, "Really nice shot. You're on your way to an 88 today." So it just tells you how it was.
So that tells me that you don't want to get into a putting competition with regular members of this course.
I wouldn't think so, no. I wouldn't think so. The course does deserve its reputation of being one of the toughest tests of golf, they say, in the world. Not just the country, but the world, in their country. The one thing that would be very interesting, with the greens being what they are, and how fast they are, was to have the Canadian Open there. But that's not going to happen because it's an all-men's club, and the CPGA and the PGA just frown on that a little bit.
Yes.
So, but
the
way the greens are undulated, the way the speed is, and the way they keep them that way, unfortunately, that if they did play the Canadian Open there, it might be about more than a 4 round of golf too.
Got it.
The course record there, believe it or not, is only 67, and it was shot by Lee Trevino in 1979.
So that's only 4 under.
That's only 4 under, and the course record has been standing for 35 years.
Wow, and I know everyone now is probably going, well, duh, yeah, of course it's only 4 under, but that's still, I mean, most course records are well below that.
Way down there. So that again is a testament to show you the difficulty of this golf course, and the greens are just treacherous speed. And Tom Fazio even said that it even frays the young man's nerves. So it's a little tough. It's the #1 golf course in Canada, and it's always the top 100 in the world. Getting back to the #1 hole, which we have as number 8.
Right.
It's quite interesting the way it sets up. The teeing ground, of course, is there, and then you hit uphill.
I remember.
As you hit up on hill, the right-hand side, there's a little plateau up there where you can land up there and be very safe. But if you hit it down the middle and you pick up your tee, you're going to end up in the left rough because it is very sloped. If you miss it to the right a little bit also, you're going to be down in the rough, but you're going to be so far down that you're not even going to be able to barely see the top of the flag. And the green, you're hitting into a green that is 2 club elevations up and very, very sloped from back to front and quite quick.
Well, I think I speak for all of us when I say, Mr. Graham, thank you for picking the easiest hole on this golf course.
It was the easiest one.
But we talk a lot about the holes that were selected for World Tour do tend to come from these uber exclusive and sometimes very difficult courses. But I'll tell you what, he did a great job in mixing them up because I would not say that World Tour is an easy course by any stretch, but it's not so tough that you feel beat up when you get done. I mean, it flows so well, and you have ample opportunity to shoot well.
Oh, you're exactly right. It is a very fair golf course, and of course, you can play from any set of tees that you wish to play from.
It's very important. Please check your tees.
But the nice thing about World Tour, and you did say it, is that these are holes that the average person will never even be able to set foot on. So it is fun to go out there and read the plaque and see what happened, see who built it, owned it, what happened to it, and then get to play it.
Just a great experience, and in a place where there are 84 courses, it is nice to have this truly unique offering. And so,
well, it's not only it's a good test of golf, but as you pull up to the clubhouse too, you know you're at something special too, because the clubhouse does sit up on a nice hill.
It's gorgeous.
Antebellum clubhouse with all the flags of all the countries and all the states that these holes have been produced from. So you do pull up, and it is kind of a wow factor when you get there. So you're not disappointed also when you get on the golf course, because the wow factor continues hole by hole by hole.
I know, because that does happen, right? I mean, sometimes you pull up and the clubhouse is grandiose, and the course can be kind of okay, or vice versa. The clubhouse, you cannot read a golf course by its clubhouse, folks, because sometimes the clubhouse is a little but the course is very nice. But here it's the whole package. I have to say, it's gorgeous. The restaurant is very nice. The service impeccable. Love the passport. You get your passport so you can go through. You get your
passport as you come through, so you are playing the world, and that's the way it is.
6 different countries. 6 different countries, folks, all in one round. And if you need to settle a bet or just have a hankering to play one extra hole or need a warm-up, you've got that 19th hole out there. That is also something a little different. Tom, thank you very much. I think with this, we'll include a picture. I'll have to get a picture from you of all those flags, because I think that would be really cool. We'll put that up with this one.
You can probably see it on the website.
All right. So, yes, you definitely want to check out their website. It is theworldtourgolf.com. Right? I always have to check myself. TheWorldTourGolf.com is the website for International World Tour. You can also click their banner right here on the Golf Director. It'll take you straight to their website. Definitely include World Tour on your next package when you come to the beach. Check in with your package provider. And if you don't have one, hashtag just call Dave. You can contact us here at the Golf Director at 844-GO-GOLF1. 844. I was going to try to do the numbers, but I always remember the letters better. 844-GO-GOLF1. Tom, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Look forward to the next one.
We'll do it again.
All right. It is Ryder Cup month, so go USA, and I hope that turns out well for the boys. I'm a little worried.
Don't look good right at the moment.
All right. This edition of Tee It Up Grand Strand has been produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. All right.
I had to cough for about 5 minutes.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We need to put we usually have the little bottles of water up here. I'm sorry.
I had a tickle.